4 a.m. in the morning. I got up, I got dressed, I peeked through the door viewer. I opened up the door and I was kind of like a little bit pumped. So I open up the door and what I see, it shocked me. It really hit me. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory from Lebe here. Let me share a story that happened a few weeks ago. In the middle of the night, it rang on our doorbell 2 times. So the first time, Angie and I, we didn't wake up, or we kind of woke up and we were both like, was that real? And then the second time, I was like, okay, that's real. So it was like 4 a.m. in the morning. So I got up, I got dressed, I peeked through the door viewer and I didn't see anybody, but there was light in the hallway. So I was like, what's going on? And I was already a little bit on alert because I was like, is it a burglar or something? Somebody's ringing on the doorbell, waiting for me to come out, and then he's gonna jump me or what? So nevertheless, I opened up the door and I was kind of like a little bit pumped. So I opened up the door and what I see, it shocked me. It really hit me. One of our neighbors, an elderly woman, she was standing there in the hallway looking down from the stairs and she was like, oh, I really apologize. I'm so sorry. She was so in distress. She was scared and she looked at me and said, would you please help my husband? So immediately I turned from sleepy mode to alert mode. I was like, well, whoa, of course. What happened? And then she tells me, she says, well, my husband fell out the bed. And you know, my father's 81 years old. My mother's almost 70. So I have a heart for elderly people. So I said, of course, I'm going to help you. Let's see what we can do. So I told Angie, hey, there's an emergency. One of our neighbors, I gotta go help them. So I went up, I went into their apartment. And actually there's 2 things to the story. So what I'm seeing is this small apartment. I'm seeing the bedroom. I'm seeing her husband sitting on the floor. And thank God he was okay. He was not unconscious or anything. But I see these 2 small beds. I see everything's a little bit in chaos, so to speak. And that really hurt me. And I was like, these are 2 members of our society. Now they live in this small place and it looks a little bit out of place. And now it got me thinking. It really got me thinking. So thank God he was okay. He was conscious. He was sitting on the floor. It was like, oh, our neighbor, thank you very much for helping me out. So immediately as I'm scanning the room, I see him sitting on the floor. I immediately in a split second knew how I have to engage my body to hoist him up to his bed. And you have to imagine, he's a big guy. He's bigger than me. He's heavier than me. So I had to work accordingly. So what I applied was not a deadlift. You have to imagine he's sitting on the floor and he's a big guy. Right? Even though he's walking on crutches and he's an elderly person, an elderly gentleman, he's still a big dude. As he was sitting there, I turned around him. I grabbed him around his body with my arms, my forearms at his chest and my chest on his back. So I told him he has to breathe in. I did the same thing, Valsalva maneuver, and then I got down into a front squat or a goblet squat, pushing my knees out, making sure my back stays upright so I can use the full power of my hips. And that's how I lifted and hoisted him up into his bed. And you can see with this video that I'm playing right now with the mats, this is how I did it. This is how I had to engage in. You cannot engage in a deadlift as somebody sitting on the floor. You have to use the biomechanics of a front squat. That's one of the reasons, guys, why training, especially if you are a little bit younger, why training will help you not only build stronger and bigger muscles, but it will also improve your neuromuscular capacity, and it will also improve the way how you can handle your body and the way you position it, especially if you're working with a good coach who can help you to really work on your mobility and work on your kinesthetic sense. Imagine if I wasn't able, or if I wouldn't have been able to hoist this elderly gentleman back into his bed. Maybe I would have injured myself, and then I would have ignored the first rule. If you help somebody else, you have to make sure that you're safe first, because I would have been lifting this big guy with my back instead of my hips, the strongest muscles that I have. I would have had to call the emergency or the ambulance, then it would all have been a big noise and big stuff. But in that situation, I was able to resolve the situation in seconds. Now what I want you to do is to watch this video right here. Click on it and understand how the goblet squat, the front squat works, because you never know if you might need it in your life. You never know if the lifting that you do in the weight room or in your home gym or wherever you are when you work with kettlebells outside or whatever, you never know when this will be needed in real life to maybe help yourself, your spouse, or somebody else, your neighbor in this case. I shared this story with some of our clients and they were like, you were the perfect guy they could call. I guess it was luck. Me as a Christian and as a believer, I believe that God orchestrated everything. He knew that this elderly woman had to ring my doorbell because I was the perfect fit for the situation. And I believe in God's sovereignty and I believe in His omniscience to connect the needy with those who have and with those who can help. So guys, learn how to goblet squat, learn how to swing, learn how to deadlift so you have strong hips so that just in case you need to help somebody get up on their feet, you are able to do so without hurting yourself. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it, consider subscribing if you want to see more kettlebell content. And if you're looking for a kettlebell program that builds you up from a beginner to a slowly advanced trainee in the course of about 3 months, and you maybe want to combine it with some easy to follow nutrition coaching because maybe you want to lose weight or you want to get in shape, then check out 90 Days of Kettlebells. You'll find the link in the description. 14-day free trial included.